Another episode of Rampage is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Always a new episode of something.
You never know. Well, what do we get here for Rampage? Okay, show. This is what you can say easy about Rampage. Usually they give you good shows. It's not like it's the greatest you've ever seen, but you can easily say if you watch it, you might find at least a little snippet of something you may like. In this situation, it wasn't too bad. It doesn't continue some rivalries. It does not really end anything or begin anything. It's just still there. Continuing. First match, which I thought maybe they should close the show with it. But when I saw the interest, I thought, well, it is better that it started the show. This is Tony Nese versus a Sammy Guevara, the Spanish God. Let me give it to you like this. I did not expect Tony Nese to win. Flat out, unexpected. Let's be honest here. There's just no reason to believe it. Because this is the first time we're generally seeing him on anything from Dynamite or Rampage. So, Rampage, a debut. And he's not a Jay Lethal. Look, you can say a lot. The person that should have won, if you really wanted to make this mean something, should have been Jay Lethal if it had to be anybody. Jay Lethal should have won. Not because I love ROH, it's because Jay Lethal is a staple now. He is a legend. Not just in ROH, but also Impact Wrestling. He's known for both. So if you wanted to give a title to somebody, he should have been it. Not a Tony Nese. I'm sorry. Was it a good match? Yeah, but I gotta admit, two things look good and one thing looked bad. The standing Spanish fly from the Sammy Guevara was actually quite good, even though it did look a little botchy, wasn't bad. The outside corkscrew, suicide dive from the Sammy Guevara looked good, but at the same time, you can clearly see that Sammy Guevara's knee clipped Tony Nese real hard. I don't care what anybody says. You think, well, this is all fake. Bullshit. That shit connected to a certain extent. So no matter what you say about Tony, he was able to get up and continue performing. He's a tough ass bastard. That mess, it clipped him, guys. Even if it was a light clip, which would just make him like that little dizzy, that shit hit him flush to a certain extent. There was no way you can hide that. But I didn't expect Sammy to really lose here. It's just not going to happen now. It's not. They're still doing the face bit. He's still doing the ribs bit. So he's not going to lose for a while yet. I don't know who he's going to lose to. But eventually it's coming. Now, we got a little talk from the Jurassic Express with the new mouthpiece called a Christian Cage. I got to admit, it's good to see Christian Cage as a mouthpiece. But you can look at a little bit of Jungle Boy, look at a little bit of confusion, because he's wondering how far is Christian Cage going to talk for us? Is he say he's our manager? He keeps calling us his boys, and they're accepting it to a certain extent. But you can see from Jungle Boy like this, that means he's wondering how far is this going to go. So sooner or later, we're going to come to a head, whether if Christian turns face or heel, it doesn't make a difference. Something's going to happen with Jungle Boy where he's going to have to make a decision for himself. Let's be honest here. Whether you like Jungle Boy or not, the people like him. And the way that this looks somewhat booked is that there's going to be a divide between Jurassic Express and the Jungle Boy. The way it looks a little bit. Because of what's going on with Christian. Either Christian's going to be the bad guy, and then you're going to see something from Jungle Boy, or Jungle Boy's going to have an attitude. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen now, but it looks like it might be laying little snippets. Now, Jade Cargill versus a student of Thunder Rosa's school and promotion, I believe. Her promotion's also a school. I believe that's it. And it is, what is her name? Nita Kai, I think, or Gina Kai, I believe. I'm mispronouncing the first name, but Kai is the end. and that girl got her ass annihilated. If you saw Impact Wrestling with Jonah and Jay Vidal, he was annihilated by Jonah, and Thunder Rosa's student just got annihilated by Jade Cargill, where she didn't take it well. They went to they basically started fighting one another because you got Thunder Rosa at pretty much commentary, which was not too bad. She didn't do bad commentary. She talks well. But she got mad. Her student got her ass whooped, but then afterward was getting still beaten down. She pushed away Marcus Smart, and then she gets into the ring and they just start at it. And this is where it gets a little nerve-wracking. Guys, understand something for me personally, for me. Jade Cargill is a big-ass woman. She looks great. She's getting better in the ring, even though with only 1 year of experience. She's not perfect, no way. But here's one major issue this girl has. Taking away she's a mom of two, I believe. I'm not saying she ain't beautiful. She got it. But the problem I see is her ring attire. Because at one point, months ago, her top got lowered. And if it wasn't for the fact that she had some things covering up her nips, we would have saw nipples showing. She was smart enough to make sure if her top falls down, there is something to cover her body parts. This girl needs to understand something and needs to do something in the beginning of 2022. She needs to understand that as time goes on, she needs to evolve herself. Not just her ring work, her promo segments, her charisma, also her ring attire. Just like I always talked about when it came to Private Party. They looked like they were still part of Hog, which is House of Glory, that JD NYC does. They needed to change, and Matt Hardy helped them to change over time. She needs to learn the same thing. She looks sexy, she's beautiful, and she's damn hard in the ring. She hits pretty hard, which is a good thing for most cases. But her ring attire eventually is going to fail her. She's trying to make herself look very sexy, presentable, but as tough. But the problem is, in the ring, if you haven't noticed, sometimes wardrobe malfunctions happen. This girl sooner or later is going to have a major wardrobe malfunction because her top is not designed properly. When you look at Sasha Banks' top, you may see some cleavage with her small boobs, but she makes sure that all the stuff she has there generally is held pretty well. She does, well, possibly still has a husband who is a wardrobe guy. Hopefully, no one has told me if this is true or not, that Makazi, that's what is known on Up, Up, Down, Down, which is not being used right now as far as I know, that they may still be together. They're not separated. I'm hoping they're still together. I want to see them stay together. But if they're separated, she's going to have a major issue if they have some really bad beef between each other. She's not going to get a costume done by a good person who really knows her body. But Jade Cargill needs to change her ring attire eventually. She cannot just keep coming out with the same stuff, particularly that top keeps going very low down near her nips. I'm just saying. I know people can say, dude, why don't you shut up? You want to see the titties just like everybody else. Yes, if we were alone together and she was my girlfriend, not saying she wants a 50-year-old guy who can't walk very well, but you never know. One woman, I could meet a supermodel who could be a little bit taller than me. And every person that looks at me says, how the fuck did this man land this gorgeous creature of a woman? It just happens. Anyway, last thing we're going to talk about is FTR. I'm not going to talk about Eddie Kingston. I'm not. There's no point. We're talking about FTR versus Penta and the eye-patched. The eye-patched Pac. Because of Malachi Black. Now, mind you, at the end of the show, Malachi Black nailed him in the other eye and made it supposedly bleed. So now Pac is completely blind in both eyes. The match itself was fine. I didn't have a problem too much with it. It is a standard match between these two. Whether you put Penta and Phoenix or Penta or Pac. Makes no difference. There's always good ring work. And Pac is my favorite wrestler. You saw during the match itself, that he didn't rush all his moves, not just because he has eye patch, is because he may be a high flyer, high impact wrestler. He is, but also he did learn years ago how to work the crowd, where not every single time you must go from one move to another, to another, to another, to another. Sometimes you got to slow down and let it absorb in and make the people care, which helped Penta, because everybody wanted to see Penta whoop some ass, which he did to a certain extent until they lost, and then he lost his mask. So, I'll say this. This show just continued what was going from Dynamite. It didn't start anything new. It didn't end anything new. It just continued. But this is just my point of view, and I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. And tell me, please, if anybody sees this, tell me if you want me to do a Booking the Wrestler Impact Edition. Because I would continue from 7 into 8. I am actually considering it, but I want to hear you guys think about it. And I think I will be releasing my AEW episode of Booking the Wrestler, maybe Saturday or Sunday. I'm actually thinking about it. Peace.